Discharge for surety when a creditor compounds with, gives time to, and agrees not to sue principal debtor. A contract between the creditor and the principal debtor by which the creditor makes a composition with of promises to give time to or not to sue the principal debtor discharges the surety unless the surety assents to such contract. The section provides the modes of discharge from liability. First, composition. Second, promise to give time. And third, promise not to sue the principal debtor. Composition. If the creditor makes a composition with the principal debtor without consulting the surety, the latter is discharged. Compromise in terms of a court decree is different from private composition that does not discharge the surety unless the decree is collusive. Promise to give time. When the time for the payment of the guarantee debt comes, the surety has the right to require the principal debtor to pay off debt. Accordingly, it is one of the duties of the creditor towards the surety not to allow the principal debtor time for payment. The creditor has no right, it is against the faith of his contract, to give time to the principal, even though manifestly for the benefit of the surety without the consent of the surety. Thus, when the principal debtor was to make payment for gas supplied within 14 days and on one occasion, he having failed to pay, the supplier took a promissory note from him. This amounted to extension of title and thereupon the surety was discharged. Similarly, where the price of a motor car was to be paid in installments and payment of which was guaranteed, the buyer fell into arrears and the dealer settled with the buyer that he should pay a certain sum immediately and the balance by the end of the month. This discharged surety. The Supreme Court of India has held that where a bank gave time the principal debtor to make up the quantity of the goods pledged, it did not have the effect of giving time for payment within the meaning of Section 135. According to Section 136, surety not discharged when agreement made with third person to give time to principal debtor, where a contract to give time to the principal debtor is made by the creditor with a third person, and not with the principal debtor, the surety is not discharged. Promise not to sue. If the creditor, under an agreement with the principal debtor, promises not to sue him, the surety is discharged. The main reason is that a surety is entitled at any time to require the creditor to call upon the principal debtor to pay off the debt when it is due, and this right is positively violated when the credit promises not to sue the principal debtor. This is, however, subject to two important qualifications. In the first place, a promise not to sue should be distinguished from a mere forbearance to sue. A promise not to sue is an engagement which ties the hands of the creditor. It is not negatively refraining, not exacting the money at the time, but it is the act of the creditor depriving him of the power of suing. Section 137 incorporates this principle.